leads, since we're still kind of in a slight seller market, if you will. And we'll actually create one, and then I've got 6 or 7 examples. We'll just kind of highlight those. I am recording this, so once it's available, I can shoot it out to you. Also have some takeaways, some follow-up strategies, and then I believe 10 ideas for landing pages. So let's hop to it, and let's get this going. All right, so let me move my mic. Should I move my mic? I'm not going to move my mic yet. All right. That said, again, today we're talking about simple and effective seller ads that we're going to create, what you need to get started, how to build the ad, again, 7 ad examples, 3 follow-up strategies, and then I will, again, provide the video and training deck for you once the video is available. All right. So essentially what you need to get started is a Facebook business page, hands down. You got to have one of those up and running to generate ads. And then ideally landing page or a platform to capture those leads. What is it? HomeBot is a great third-party landing page that's very clean. So you might want to look into that. I don't know how pricey it is per month. For this example today, where I'm just going to drive people to my Realty One Group website where you can find out how much your home is worth. That said, we'll have some content and ad ideas. I can show you where you can look at different ads that are currently running out on Facebook. And then again, the follow-up process, which is very critical, 3 examples for you to kind of surf through and make it your own. And then obviously you're going to need some type of budget commitment, you know, how much you're looking to spend, for how long you're going to run the ad or ads, so on and so forth. I'm a big advocate of A/B testing different looks, different verbiage, so on and so forth. But do keep an eye on the analytics part of it, obviously, to see, you know, what's generating leads, so on and so forth. If you have the ability, if you want to, you can grab this QR code and it will take you out to a Canva document that I created, and it has 10 landing page ideas. Landing page ideas could be like property listing pages, home evaluation pages, neighborhood area guide pages, open house pages promoting an upcoming open house that you have, first time home buyer pages, lead magnet pages offer a valuable resource for exchanging contact information, so on and so forth. Testimonial pages, a real estate blog, if you have one up and running, new development or pre-sale page focus on upcoming developments out there, properties, so on and so forth. And then maybe also generating like a custom IDX search page on your website to drive people there. So that's a little insight to what the 10 landing pages look like. And all right, so there's really 2 types of leads out there. Facebook ads and Google ads are 2 prominent advertising platforms with very distinct approaches. Facebook ads, the lesser expensive of the 2 for the most part. These typically target users based on their interests, behaviors, and demographics displayed, and then those ads are displayed while you're scrolling through your social media or their social media, right? And for Facebook, that could be Instagram, that could be on Messenger, and definitely Facebook, right? Because Meta owns all 3 of those platforms. And these ads will appear as sponsored posts that users haven't specifically searched for, right? But again, we can kind of do a little bit of targeted profiling, if you will. A lot of changes that Facebook went through quite a few years ago. We can no longer obviously target by age and gender, so on and so forth. So we'll get into that a little bit later on when we create the ad. Google ads, they cater to users actively searching for specific products or keywords. For instance, when somebody searches for homes in Las Vegas, the top results that pile up on the web page will typically have ad at the top of it so therefore by clicking on it, you know it's an ad, so on and so forth. Both platforms are very effective, but serve different marketing strategies, if you will. All right, checking to make sure nobody is beating down the door to get in. We're good there. I'm going to move a few of my windows around and we'll move forward. All right. So you might be wondering, hey, are Facebook ads still relevant? So to date, Facebook still has 2 billion active users every day. That's a big number. Facebook ads reach Instagram users as well. And then again, Messenger. Facebook purchased Instagram, I believe, in 2012. Over 500 million active users are on every single day on their platforms. So it's a great place to be and a great way to kind of create some ads and play around with ads if you haven't done so. Facebook is still consistently seeing double-digit year-over-year growth in ad revenue, signaling businesses to continue to see like a solid return on investment or ROI through social media and ad campaigns. So when people are generating those ads, obviously, Meta is making money on the back end of it, so on and so forth. So it's still a great platform to be using. All right. Another really cool thing that they've come out with, Meta's come out with, is Ads Library, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. But you can actually search based on location and category, and you can search for active ads from Facebook Ads Library and get ideas of kind of what ads you might want to run. The other cool thing about that too is you can look at obviously what's up and running, and you can look at other real estate agents to see what they're putting together as far as ads go. You can kind of see some of the details on that, and I'll show you in just a second. But it kind of, helps you go under the radar a little bit and see what some of the other agents are out there doing as far as their ads and what type of shape, verbiage, and form they take on, right? So basically, what you're seeing on your screen now is a QR code that will actually take you out to the ad library. And I'm gonna switch my screen here and actually go there myself. Everybody see the screen change okay? I have ad library on here.
Yeah, see, that's good.
Awesome, thank you. All right, and from here, I'm just gonna move my camera. Hopefully it doesn't disconnect, hang tight. Hopefully that doesn't create any motion sickness for you all. But here's where you can kind of dig in and search by ad category in the United States, or I guess probably anywhere else. But that said, a little slow in responding there. But when I click on ad category, here are the categories that you can choose from. And the one we're most interested in would be housing. And then you could search by location, keyword, or advertiser. I'm just going to do Las Vegas, Nevada, because that's where we're located. And what you see is roughly about 1,900 results. And here are some of the active ads that are running right now. It gives you the details of when they are actually, when they started running. This one right here in the middle of my screen, third one over, it has been running since, well, today. Active time, 5 hours. They have started it today. Platforms that they are placing this ad on it would be Facebook and Instagram, housing category, and I know Wendy Goss, a real estate boss, and she's put together a video of some sort. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, interesting. Oof. All right. Okay, love you, Wendy, but I'm not sure if that's a lot, a lot to look at. I'm not sure if it's one property or multiple properties. There's no sound, at least that I can tell. But nonetheless, always be doing video if you can in some shape or form and make it look like, like you're on top of your game. Video is always going to rise to the top as far as, piquing people's interest, so on and so forth. Here's another one. Let's look at this one with Beth real quick. Mm. Okay, if I get that thing to stop, there you go. Well, just a little inkling of what that looks like. I was going to make you sit through the 2-minute video that is posted, but again, when you can post video, please do. Maybe you want to go out and search her to see what she's doing on social media, snoop around, whatever the case may be. But this is just a great place for you to look at different types of videos and or ads, excuse me, that people are putting out there, so on and so forth. And then you can kind of take a little bit of one, a little bit of another, and make it your own if you need that kickstart, if you will, right? All right, so this is the ad library, and I'm gonna jump now to my Facebook page. And again, you need to have a business page up and running. So over here in the left-hand corner, I have shortcuts built out, and this is my business page for Facebook. And over here to the left-hand side, you're going to see Ad Center and create ads. And again, I'm going to keep this just kind of really high level. I don't want to take too deep of a dive because there is a lot of information to deliver today, but we're going to actually use the create ads button right here or link. And then once that opens up, we're just kind of just talk about it top to bottom and make some changes, so on and so forth. And for starters, at the very top, Facebook would like to know, or Meta would like to know, what's your goal for this particular ad? And you can leave it on automatic, but in today's example, I'm going to actually click change. And here are the many different ways to promote the ad or have the ad generate more interest, right? You can get more calls, you get more visits. I'm just going to choose get more website visitors as an example. You know, if we're trying to generate seller leads, we want to pique the interest of sellers or homeowners right now and entice them to maybe you know, put their property up for sale based on what's going on in their neighborhood. So that's kind of the idea of what we're going to build this ad around. Is we're going to look at homes in zip code 89149 that have sold in the last 30 days, and then we'll have some talking points or description point about that to entice whoever might see this ad when they're out scrolling on social media. So today, again, I'm going to search or click on get more website visitors, save that. And right now it's pulling just some basic information in from my particular Facebook page. If I scroll down a little bit further, we've got an error, and that error is telling me that we can't utilize the Facebook business page. So and that's what we're going to end up doing, is driving people to my Realty One Group website page. Again, HomeBot is another great program. I think all of you have probably heard of HomeBot, but a little on the pricey side, but just a great product and a very clean landing page to where when the consumer or prospect clicks on your ad, it takes them out to HomeBot. If they want, you know, click learn more, they go out to HomeBot landing page. How much is my property worth? They put in their information on the back, and they're capturing that information and delivering it to you. So that's kind of the overall concept. But I really do love this product. It is amazing in how it looks and feels when it gets delivered out to not only your current clients, but past clients and potentially prospects, right? All right, back to my ad. And let me just have a look at my notes, check to see nobody else has joined, and we're good for now. All right. Okay, so it's once we've changed the goal of our ad, we're good, and we can step forward. It's also asking me to add a headline, if you will. And over here to the right, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why this is unable to preview this particular image. But if I scroll to the right, it's already kind of compiled for me based off of my Facebook page and some information. But as you make changes over here on the left-hand side, this preview of the ad updates in real time. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to follow what Facebook wants us to do, add a headline. And again, we're going to go out and we're going to call this particular ad market update for 89149. And then, so we want to put a description in. The challenge I have right now in this particular Zoom call is I don't personally have access to MLS. And so here's the concept. At this point, again, we're looking to target people in 89149, and we're looking to provide a visual and some analytics and verbiage that we can use within the ad. So your next step would be is to go out to your MLS and do a search for sold properties in 89149 for this example, and it's going to give you the analytics behind that. So example, it might be like 69 properties sold in 89149 in the last 30 days. That could be verbiage for your ad. And then also what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a screenshot that you could capture from your MLS. The map, once you do that search, is going to show up with, I believe, blue dots all over the map that indicate sold properties in the last 30 days. All right. So from here, I'm gonna go ahead and build out that description now, just to save time. I've built that out prior to and looked at. It's actually just kind of makeshift for this call today. But another thing to keep in mind when you start typing here, a lot of times we're inclined to use emojis, both in our texting and in our posts on social media, all fine and good. But when you're in this description box right here, you cannot add emoji. There isn't any way to do it. So a couple ways would be to actually go out to, like you're creating a Facebook post, put in this verbiage, and then you could add the emojis. Another great website, I don't know if you're aware of this, I'm just copying from my notes. I'm going to drop it in here just as a reminder for you, is emoji.org, emojipedia.org. And it's just a website that's all focused on emojis. So you can type in emojis, fire emoji, and it will bring up a bunch of fire emojis, and then you can copy them. So a great resource that I've always utilized. The other option too could be is to kind of build this verbiage out based on the analytics that you saw in your MLS search. Drop it into ChatGPT. Tell ChatGPT to rewrite it with emojis, and that's exactly what I did. And this is what the end result is here. Okay, so we've got our ad creative. We've got the description. The description would be 69 properties sold in 89149 in the last 30 days. Average sold price 699,926. Highest sold 1.620. Curious about your home value? Find out what your home could sell for in today's market. That's the call to action. All right. And if I look over here, you can start to see that verbiage populating up here on the preview of the ad. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to bring in that snapshot. A couple tools that you can use. If you're in Windows, you can use, it's called Snippet, and basically allows you just to snip whatever you're trying to capture, and then you can just upload that into the media section for this particular ad. I'm on Windows, or excuse me, I'm on Mac or iOS, so I use a program called Xsnapper. Yeah, thought I was typing that for you, but Xsnapper.com, and it's really actually a cool program that you can capture information on the screen, because it allows you to change the background and create shadows, and it just looks professional without putting a whole lot of time and effort into it. Okay, that said, we've got the description down. We need to change the media, so you could add media here, and I again previewed, took a snapshot, a mock one, if you will, but this is where you would pull in from your MLS area, all these blue dots. And you could do a carousel if you wanted to. This one makes no sense for obviously our ad. So by clicking the X here, we now remove that and we really start to see our ad start to take some shape and form. Down here, we've got our headline, if you will. It still has some verbiage in there from my Facebook page, and I think that's due to the fact that we need to change the URL because right now it's redirecting back to my Facebook business page. Right here is where you can actually change the button, if you will, on your particular ad. Apply now doesn't make sense. If I click on the drop-down box, here are your options: contact us, learn more, request time, see menu. For this particular example, learn more makes sense. We want to capture people's attention here with the blue dots, the verbiage, a call to action, and then learn more as the next step for them to click on that button. And again, just depending on what you're looking to do, in this instance, we're looking to generate seller leads. Ideally, again, out to HomeBot, a third-party landing page would be great. For today's example, I'm actually going to go up to my Realty One Group website, and Allison, Jocelyn, you better not have a blue house on your website. If so,
Does that mean
blue-
the blue ones?
do you have a blue house on your website when you go out to your Realty One Group's website?
No, we don't have,
Good.
We don't use the Realty One website though.
we use the Zedlets through both.
Okay. Because like 99% of the people I talk with, as far as Realty One Group agents go, okay, maybe 98%. They have the standard blue house that looks nothing like the properties, nothing like the properties here in Vegas or Phoenix or so on and so forth. So I always give them a bad time. Like, you need to change it. You need to have the banner up there and so on and so forth.
And you're talking about the background graphic, like what we're looking at here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
Yeah. Usually for by default, when Realty One Group upstarts your website for free, it's just a generic blue house. Again, that has wood siding on the outside. Again, Realty One Group's all over the world, so they couldn't do specific to each region. But anyway, that's why you need to come hang out with me every Monday, because every Monday I'm doing, at least for the time being, doing the OneSuite training on the OneSuite tools that we have, and one is website editor, so on and so forth. So stay tuned for that. Anyway,
So
again, we're
you're
just-
on your
ahead.
Facebook, you know
Yeah.
where it said website. So if you wanted to go to my website, let's say like there, is that where you want the URL?
Yeah, so what I'm actually going to do for my particular website right here, get an instant home value estimate. I would like for this to be more prominent.
Right.
And maybe you can have a separate landing page on your website, create a page specific to that, and then use this URL up at the top. But you get the gist of kind of the process, right? So I'm copying this URL, and then
Right.
I'm going to go over here to Facebook ads, and I'm just going to replace this, and it should get rid of the little triangle, red triangle, and it comes up with a nice little green check mark. So I'm again just going to go up here and take a peek at the preview, and it did change some of the verbiage down here. It's got my website, and then the headline, learn more. Again, it's hopefully this would pique some interest as homeowners are scrolling through their social media in and around 89149. All right, moving down. You can adjust the contact method, but ideally in this example, we are driving people out to the third-party website, whether it be your website that will actually capture the information on the back end, or HomeBot, which would do the same. So I'm just going to leave contact method none for this. Advantage plus creative, I think obviously AI is like everywhere, and this is where Facebook is starting to implement some AI into the ads and let it, kind of shape and format and hopefully get more eyes on your ads, so on and so forth. It kind of gives you a little bit of an explanation there if you click on the information button. But that said, I'm just going to leave that on. Clicking it off would turn it off, back on. And this is a big one for us, special ad category. Back in the day before Meta and all of the changes they went through and the problems they went through with ads, basically Meta already knows this is potentially a housing ad. So you absolutely have to click on this link and choose your categories. And ads for real estate listings, homeowner insurance, mortgage loans, or other related opportunities, you must choose housing. If you try and use one of these other categories for whatever reason, there's a review process after you publish your ad down here, and it will probably get rejected if you don't have the proper category, which will always be housing. So we're choosing housing. And next thing that we're going to talk about is the audience. Who should see your ad? And right here is a pencil to edit. And if I click on that, this is where back in the day you could really get detailed on age and gender and so on and so forth. All that's gone away with the new housing category that we've chosen, that we have to abide by, following that policy, so on and so forth. So this is kind of just a useless information for us at this point. But what is most important down here with this pop-up window is the location area right here. So clicking on that, you can put an address or a zip code. Since we're talking about homes that sold in 89149, I'm just going to drop in 89149. And it brings up a couple, suggestions. I don't know, maybe there's a pumpkin patch. I know there's a farm out in 89149. But nonetheless, it's 89149, probably the center of 89149. So I'm going to choose that. Another option could be that you could drop a pin and maybe magnify and get in super close to what area you want to be in, so on and so forth. But quite honestly, this radius, if you will, defaults at its lowest at 15 miles. So whether you zoom in and drop a pin, very, very hyper focused on a certain area, it's still going to bleed out 15 miles. So I think at best in this example, we're just going to leave it at 89149. We won't drop a pin. We can change this if you want it to go out further, but again, we're talking about properties sold in 89149, and we're trying to generate leads in that particular area because it's right next door to where you live maybe, or where your office is. All right, so that said, right down here at the bottom, we have, I guess, an indicator. If it's too small or not broad enough, it's going to be red. If it's too broad, it's going to show yellow. We're right in the middle. Facebook, Meta thinks this is good for an ad so far. And our estimated audience size with a 15-mile radius around that zip code is going to be 1.8 mil to 2.2 million people. And I don't know if I want to read through all of that, but that's good for starters. So I'm comfortable with that. I'm going to save my audience. And the next section that we're talking about is duration. Now you can have this run continuously if you want. If you're just kind of starting out with Facebook ads, I would suggest that maybe you just, again, run it for a week for starters. So by doing, clicking this radio dial right here, choose when this ad will end. I want it to run for 7 days, ending on the 11th. And right here defaults to $5. If now you can play around with this, you can go as low as 3 and you go as high as 500. But right now at $5, running at 7 days, your total budget is $35. Pretty inexpensive. And then Facebook is telling us that I've got my camera right in the way, but it looks like accounts centered around this area again, 531 people, 531,000 people, no, 531 people to 1.5 thousand. That was tough. And then links clicked or clicking on learn more, potentially you're going to see 16 to 55 clicks. Learn more is what they're anticipating. Now, if you drop down here again, you're like, that's a little weak for me. I'm a big baller. I'm going to bump this up to $10. And it's changed the amount of clicks that Meta thinks you're going to get, 32 to 101. These are potential leads, right? And then again, the people reached, audience reach 1,000 to 2.9 thousand. And then your total price is $70 for a 7-day ad at $10. All right. Placement, you can click on this. I leave this on, let Meta do its work. But clicking on this, again, you're going to run this ad on Messenger, Instagram, and Facebook if you leave this on, and I would leave it on. Why not maximize all that Meta has for us in the different platforms? Next would be Meta Pixel. I'm not going to get into pixels. Pixels are basically an element that you can put on your website or add that is a tracking device. I don't want to get into that today, but that is an option. And then kind of rounding this part of the presentation out, you have to have a payment method in. I haven't added mine, so I typically don't generate ads, but you would add your credit card there. And if you're all fine and good with all the details, the audience size, the budget, how long it's going to run, you've got a great looking, eye-catching piece of media there. You've got some great verbiage, and then targeted to 89149, learn more. I'm happy with all this. And then I would publish this, and it goes into review with Facebook, and then you get an answer on if it's approved or not.
Hey, Tim, I have a question. So if you
Yeah.
have your Facebook linked to your Instagram account, so they're talking to each other, but
Yeah.
you boost from Facebook, it's not going to speak that ad to Instagram at all, right? Those are going to be two separate things.
I think it will. Well, obviously, it's going to place the ad on Messenger and Instagram, and if you have them all linked, I would imagine probably within your Facebook. Again, going back to Facebook and your business page, there's an ads manager, which I think would start to consolidate all that information. But that's a great question. I don't know if you would be able to look at the Instagram analytics to see how this particular ad is doing. I think it's all going to fall back into the ad center, which is kind of makes sense, right? All your ads are kind of in one location for you to look at to see, what the analytics look like, right?
Okay, so when you are, because I don't think I've ever boosted anything from Instagram, but I have boosted in Facebook. It's been a minute, but your analytics, if you boost on Facebook, you do an ad on Facebook.
Yeah.
When you go into those analytics, is it just speaking to your performance in Facebook?
Yes.
Or combine engagement between both?
Yeah, and again, I think when you're doing an ad like we're talking about today, and then you put it on Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger, excuse me, and then you go into your ad center on Meta, Facebook, that's where it's going to pull all the information from probably the different platforms and the analytics.
That's something I
Now,
haven't done a whole lot yet.
Yeah. Now, if you go out to Instagram and you have a post and you boost it there, or you boost it on Facebook, like a post,
Mhm.
then I think you could look at the analytics on your Instagram page to see how that particular post is performing.
Okay,
Where do you see that?
you talking about an Instagram link?
Yeah, and Facebook, like, where do you find?
Do you, I think to find your analytics, don't you have to have a separate Meta page or app?
For Instagram or for Facebook?
Instagram,
Either.
either,
Yeah, so on Instagram you should have, gosh, I just put a presentation together on this, but you have different, you can like have a content or a creator type account. You can have a business account. You should have a business account
Yeah.
on your
yeah,
Instagram.
agree with you.
Yeah, as opposed to just a regular Instagram, right? That's where you can look at, let me just, out of curiosity, real quick.
Like I said, that's just something that I need to actually dig a little deeper into. That's why I have probably some silly questions, because I haven't spent a lot of time doing that.
You're so
Yeah,
silly.
Yeah.
and right here, just this is my business one, Instagram, 103 accounts reached in the last 30 days, view insights.
Insights.
And this is a breakdown of
Okay.
views, so on and so forth, posts. um, And really kind of when my audience is looking at my posts, right? So very helpful
And does that tell you, because I know that there's a difference between reaches and views. So does that break that down there? On the
interactions, followers, non-followers, posts, reels, profile visits, followers. It's not showing
okay, I think Facebook, from
reach.
what I've heard, Facebook will do
Yeah,
that. Okay,
interesting. Accounts reached, maybe.
yeah, because I know reached is like, that's 103 different people. But
Yeah.
the views could be 300, and that kind of just means that everybody clicked on it 3 times.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Okay. All right. Let's
cool.
jump back into the ad. Once you publish it, again, you've got a review period. I think generally pretty quick at maybe 24 hours max, but again, just depending on volume, I'm sure they've got it down to a science where they get back to you pretty quickly. I'm sure it's all automated, but nonetheless, so that's basically building an ad, an example of an ad. So I'm going to go back into my presentation here, and I'm going to move my camera. Is that like highly visible when I move my camera? Okay. All right. So now we're just kind of talking about the different types of ads that you could consider running, so on and so forth, and building out. Basically, the number one example here. And so Jen is obviously a real estate agent. She's promoting her blog, things every seller should know in this market. And basically what she's attempting to do is generate traffic. To generate traffic, consider posting the blog on your website or directing visitors to a landing page to feature an article where they can register for more information. So that's example number one. Example number two is your market update. Share specific updates such as a March or a market report tailored to a particular community, much like we just did for 89149. And then even creating a video for the update is even better for engagement. Remember, video's king, queen, so on and so forth. Example number three. And again, I'll get this deck to you as well, so you can kind of look through it at your leisure. But number three kind of illustrates some of the tools that Rock Title has and provides for you. This has taken a snippet from Altos report. Take a screenshot of that, and then you can focus in on, a particular county, whether it be Maricopa County or Clark County, a specific zip code, so on and so forth. A little bit different look. And then the next one would be highlighting a recently closed property that you're particularly fond of, and perhaps maybe you sold it like $80,000 over asking price, and that's pretty huge. So, you know, highlighting that verbiage and kind of positions you as, you know, very experienced realtor. And that obviously you have strong negotiation skills to get it over 80,000 over list price, so on and so forth. So that's example number 4. And 5 is basically a summary of what you're looking to convey. So this is basically kind of a review that somebody wrote for Justin in this example. But if you have a really great review that you've gotten from one of your clients and you want to highlight that, you could bring that information in and you know, just again highlight your expertise and make sure there's a clear call to action always on your ads, and maybe it's directing them again to fill out a home evaluation to find out what their home is worth. Number 6, this one kind of stood out for me because I really like the wording that it has. You know, your home's value has been affected by this home being sold. Well, how has it affected my property if I'm seeing this ad, right? So that piques my curiosity, and now I'm going to click on, you know, whatever call to action button is placed on this ad, so on and so forth, learn more, so on and so forth. So those are some examples. I think the last one, if I have it in here still, would be the one that just we kind of recreated or created within the Facebook ad manager section of Facebook. A few things to remember. Basically, you know, focus on results in your ad copy. Always have a call to action. Make it as local as possible. And then offer data and tips, so on and so forth. This is just great data that is factual data, right? This actually 30 days. This is how many properties sold at this particular zip code. And a video is always best if you can do video. And follow up always. And with that, here's a QR code if you want to snap that. You can, or again, when I get the deck to you, this is a breakdown of 3 effective follow-up strategies that you could implement or take and shape and form and mold it to you in your business model to help you follow up on these ads that you might be hopefully generating. Hopefully you have a plethora of them and you get lots and lots of transactions that you can send our way, because we obviously love an opportunity to continue earning your business if we're not already working with you.